Tommy in my 20s when I was standing outside Pollock office as a new steward, and we just had a walkout, and I didn't quite know how to tackle the manager, and he was a great help, I have to tell you. He was great support to me and was a great support to the community in Pollock, and I can say that as a community worker. He was one of the elected members He didn't just turn up to the community groups around about election time. He was there right throughout the whole of the year, and has been an absolute stalwart on the left. Tommy's a former Solidarity MSP. I'll hand you over to Tommy.
Thanks very much, Claire. Brothers and sisters, I think today has vindicated the decision that was taken on the 13th of March by the various anti-bedroom tax committees to try and join together, to tie the ropes of the various campaigns together and form a federation covering the west of Scotland. Because in a lot of the meetings that I've addressed, there's been a huge amount of anger in relation to what these Tory scumbags are planning to do to ordinary working class people. But we've been trying to make the point that anger on its own is never enough. The slogan that we tried to promote in the formation of the West of Scotland Federation against the bedroom tax was, don't just get angry, get organised. That's what's essential. And what has happened today is we've been overwhelmed by the turnout. Let's be honest about it.
Correct.
We hoped we would get 1,000, maybe 2. The figures that have been quoted are as much as 10,000 people turning out today. And what we've got to do as a federation against this bedroom tax is not to rest on our laurels, but to build the campaign. And the next step, yes, let's have the localised demonstrations on the 10th of April. Every local authority, or in our case here in Glasgow, the GHA, demonstrations across the whole, not just of west of Scotland, but Scotland. Because the next step has to be, as we did with the anti-poll tax campaign 24 years ago, as we started local, then we built up on a city basis, and then we built up across the whole of Scotland. The next step has to be to unite the east of Scotland with the west of Scotland and the north of Scotland and the south of Scotland, an all Scotland campaign against the bedroom tax is the next step.
Yes! Yes!
And we have to, each and every one of us, become ambassadors for that campaign. Become the local organiser in your community or your workplace, even just your household. We have to learn some of the facts and figures. We know inherently, instinctively, how wrong this is. We know that the rich and the multi-millionaires who run the government, let's remember, there are 29 members of the Con Dem cabinet. 23 of that 29 are millionaires. They are completely and utterly out of touch with ordinary working class lives. They live, quite frankly, in a parallel universe. We have to understand that what drives this attack on welfare It's not just about the bedroom tax. It's about abolishing DLA. It's about introducing universal credit. It's about abolishing council tax benefit. They say they want to try and cut the welfare bill by something of the order of £18 billion. Brothers and sisters, why? Well, they tell us it's because we're in an economic crisis. We're in an economic crisis, and therefore we all have to pull together. Brothers and sisters, in the last financial year, the estimate from the Tax Justice Network is the unpaid tax by the millionaires in this country amounting to £100 billion, not £18 billion. If you want to solve the economic crisis, why don't we start by collecting taxes for the millionaires and the multinational corporations? Let's face it, it would appear the easy way to avoid the bedroom tax is to call your spare bedroom a Starbucks. Then you don't pay tax. We as ordinary people are fed up to the back teeth of the sheer and utter hypocrisy that comes out of the mouths of these people telling us we're all in it together. We're all in it together. But the tax dodgers get knighthoods and the poor and the disabled get a bedroom tax. One figure alone, one fact that you have to take back when you're building the campaign. One single incident that explains the nature of what these people are doing. They say the bedroom tax can hopefully raise 500 million because that's how much it'll save on housing benefit. Brothers and sisters, all in it together. Bedroom tax for poor and disabled on the 1st of April. Tax cut for 13,000 millionaires on the 1st of April.
Correct.
And the loss to the exchequer, of that tax cut for the 13,000 millionaires works out at £100,000 each for those millionaires. £1.3 billion lost to the exchequer. When they say we need to introduce it, you say no we don't. No we don't. You would raise more money if you refused to cut the tax for the millionaires. That's the reality.
Correct.
I've been involved in quite a few debates recently with some of what I would like to call the space cadets. Tory MPs who don't have a clue what they're talking about. I challenge you, I say to you, would you allow a motor mechanic to carry out open heart surgery on you? Would you allow a bricklayer to apply a spray tan? Well, if you think that's ridiculous, why would you allow a Tory to introduce changes to social housing?
That's right. Absolutely.
These people, they wouldn't know a council house if it fell and hit them in the heat.
No.
I debated with one of these space cadets in the Jeremy Vine show a couple of weeks ago. Jacob Rees-Mogg was his name. His old man is Lord Rees-Mogg. 12-bedroom mansion. And this political nugget suggested on the Jeremy Vine show that those with spare rooms in their council houses should consider taking in lodgers. Now, many of us in here were brought up in council houses. We know the diameters, we know the dimensions, we know that you can hardly swing a carton in a bedroom, and we know that you've got a wee toilet that's right across for the bedrooms, and what these people are saying is take in strangers. That's the solution. Brothers and sisters, they say they want to tax spare bedrooms. We say we want to tax the spare houses.
Yes. Yes.
For the multi-millionaires who represent this government, it might be a good idea to take in lodgers. But if you've got a 12-bedroom mansion, that's no problem. But no, if you've got a 3 or 4 apartment house. We have to be united here in saying this isn't the only issue that we're facing. They're capping benefits, but they're not prepared to cap bankers' bonuses. They talk about they want to cut the housing benefit bill, but they're not prepared to cap rents in the private sector, which is causing the housing benefit bill to rise. We have to say that we as ordinary people recognise that there's a whole myriad of attacks, but sometimes there are issues which are line in the sand issues. This is a line in the sand issue. We will stand and fight. In the last 12 days I've had the pleasure of addressing 10 different public meetings. And in each of those meetings people have been asking, are we encouraging people to refuse to pay their bedroom tax? Brothers and sisters, in some respects it's a bit of a mute point, it's a bit of an irrelevancy. Because the overwhelming majority of those facing the bedroom tax simply can't afford it. I've got to say, as someone who isn't directly affected by it, I find myself in a difficult position. I was involved 24 years ago in helping to build the anti-poll tax campaign, and I had no problem whatsoever in calling on everyone to refuse to pay it because I was refusing to pay it. Well, there is a slight difference now. I don't like calling on people to do something I'm not prepared to do myself or I'm not facing myself. Therefore, what we're saying in the Federation, we can't say to people, don't pay your bedroom tax. What we can say is, if you don't pay your bedroom tax, we will stand beside you against the sheriff officers. They tried to frighten us 24 years ago. We can all remember that. You don't pay your poll tax, we're going to come and we're going to take your furniture. We're going to embarrass you. We're going to humiliate you. We're going to sell your furniture in a warrant sale. Well, brothers and sisters, enough of us were angry enough, and enough of us got organised, and we were prepared to go to neighbours' houses who we didn't know, to go to communities that we'd never been in. It didn't matter who you were. We were prepared to stand in human solidarity with you.
Get it?
And we stopped the sheriff officers. And in a similar vein today, there will be hundreds and thousands of people that will be prepared to stand outside the home of anyone that's threatened with an eviction.
Correct.
They will not happen as far as this Federation is concerned. There is a political message, however. We'll take no lessons. Take no lessons from Labour politicians who started this assault on the welfare state. Labour politicians like Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, who were in government and presided over the biggest growth and inequality that this country's ever seen.
Correct.
Disgrace. Shame on Labour for dirtying the banner and the history of the Labour movement, what they did in government. So we'll take no lectures from them about fighting the bedroom tax, but we've also got to say here to the Scottish Government, to the SNP, this isn't a meeting about independence. This isn't a meeting about whether you're voting yes in the referendum next year. Just so people out there are aware, personally, I'm for an independent Scotland, and I'll vote for independence.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I say to the SNP. Don't play politics with this issue. Don't tell us that your local authorities won't carry out evictions, given that you only control 9 out of 32 of them. Even if all 32 local authorities in Scotland declare no evictions for bedroom tax, yes, that'll be a start, that'll be positive. But brothers and sisters, what about the 183 housing associations in Scotland?
Yes. Correct.
That's why the demonstration, as well as the 10th of April, as well as the 20th of April, the demonstration I want you to attend was on the 16th of April. It's midweek, it's difficult for a lot of folks. I'm going to appeal to you to make the effort to come through to Holyrood in Edinburgh on the 16th of April, because there is a petition being presented to the Petitions Committee at the Scottish Parliament. That petition is on behalf of the Govan Law Centre, and it's calling on the Scottish Government to change the Housing Scotland Act 2001, Section 16 of that Act, to treat all bedroom tax arrears as ordinary debt, not as rent arrears. Brothers and sisters, what that small change to the Housing Scotland Act would do, it wouldn't get rid of the bedroom tax, we've still got to fight it, but what it would do is it would remove the threat of eviction from every single family in Scotland that's affected by the bedroom tax. 105,000 families in Scotland are hit by the bedroom tax. 83,000 of those families have got a disabled member in their family. Our challenge to Alex Salmond and the SNP government is step up to the plate. Put yourself at the head of this campaign and declare unequivocally no evictions for anybody that can't afford to pay the bedroom tax. Brothers and sisters, it's been a long day. Many of you have travelled many miles to come into this march and demonstration today. I don't know about the rest of you, but my back was killing us in the square. You get to my age, somebody says to you, you know, they can't remember whether it was 23 years ago or 24 years ago we were fighting the poll tax. I says it was at least 24 pounds ago as far as I'm concerned.
Still young at heart, Tommy.
And I certainly had a healthier head of hair in those days, that's for sure. Brothers and sisters, we'll take some contributions, we'll try and keep them limited because people will want to go up the road. But I think we've had a fantastic day today. I think every one of us have been inspired and encouraged by what's happened here today. I think the task now belongs with us. We're making demands on the politicians, but as always, we're going to rely on the people.